Hey there, I'm Neil. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm the host and producer of Pause and Rewind, the podcast that chats to changemakers, thought leaders and role models who all share a common goal. They're striving to make the world a more inclusive place. And, let's face it, we need it. Each guest has a unique story when it comes to doing their thing, and we often know who people are in the now, but how much do we really know about them? Pause and Rewind takes a moment to explore the experiences, realisations and relationships in my guest's life that led them to where and who they are now, because everyone loves an origin story. We'll dive into tales, anecdotes and a little of what makes our guest tick. So whether you're here for insights or inspo or simply want to know about your heroes, this podcast is for you. You might never know someone's story, but if you pay attention, you'll hear it, you'll see it and you'll feel it. So, are you ready to pause and rewind? Hey, and welcome to another episode of Pause and Rewind. Last week was the Independent Podcast Awards, and sadly, I did not win in my category, but I'm still absolutely hyped to have been a finalist. And I just want to say a massive thank you for all the lovely, supportive, kind and beautiful messages I received from friends, family, chosen family, and those that listen to the podcast. I really appreciate it. And there's always next year, right? Going to keep on doing this as long as you keep listening. This episode is with someone that I am an absolute fangirl of, and that is Janae Rochelle Owyn, aka CurvyBlackWitch, as she's more widely known on social media. I've been following Janae for a while, quite some time actually, and her content is funny as fuck. And I had the opportunity to meet her at the Diva Awards earlier this year, and it was a moment, and we stayed in touch, and she said yes to being a guest. I was overjoyed. Janae is a plus-size model. She's a content creator and influencer, a podcaster, and yeah, her podcast, Les Vibe, centers the experiences and escapades of Black queer women, and it is hilarious. Do check it out. Janae leans into the intersections of all her identity in her content creation as a Black, neurospicy, plus-size lesbian, and she talks a lot about that throughout her content. And she describes herself as a multidimensional spiritualist, healer, and unapologetic truth teller who walks boldly in her magic. And she encourages others to do the same. She's all about self-love, empowerment, and liberation, especially when it comes to Black women and femmes, encouraging them to embrace their wholeness and embody their own magic. So we chat tons in here about Janae's origin story, about her hopes and dreams, but there's so much in here. It was such a brilliant episode, and I know that you're going to love it as much as I do. So here it is. Enjoy. Janae, welcome to Pause and Rewind. It's so fucking amazing to have you here.
Hi.
Hi, I'm so excited to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing good, babe. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, really excited for this conversation. And I'm going to start with a question that I ask all my guests. And that is, what does the world look like for Janae Rochelle Owyn right now?
Oh, the world for me right now is about change. I'm noticing a lot of change. Some good, some bad. With things that are happening in the current climate in the world, especially in the United Kingdom, is a bit different.
Yeah.
Not as I was expecting. I feel like we're regressing slightly. But in my personal life, everything's changed for the better. I am in a happier place, a happier time, and I feel blessed and highly favored by man. So that's just, what can I say?
and rightly so. It has been wicked seeing you shine. I'm going to reference the first moment I met you. So I've been following you on socials for about a year and a half now. And I had a fangirl moment at the Diva Awards earlier this year when I realised that we were in the same room and you came up on screen as a nominee and you were highly commended and I heard you scream and then I knew you were in the room. And we had our fangirl moment, and I had my fangirl moment, and we had a selfie. And then when you got on that DJ decks, and you were on the mic, and you were commanding that audience to dance, and I think it was something like, Bumberclut Trans Rights Matter or something.
Yeah, I told people trans rights need to be happening. Trans women are trans women, trans men are trans men, all that jazz. Yes. I said what I said.
And you said it in you styly.
Of course.
And just here, it was such a funny moment, and I'm so glad we connected after that, and we've stayed in touch since.
Yeah.
take us back to the work. Let's focus on the now, and let's focus on CurvyBlackWitch, right?
Of
How
course.
did this it's I don't want to use the word persona because it's you. It
really is
it's
me.
you,
Like, I'm not
yeah.
even even exaggerating.
And so how did it come about in terms of kind of like your social media profile and what and how do you feel about it, seeing it grow into what it's become and then to get the recognition that you deserve?
Thank you so much. Honestly, I'm like this all the time. If anyone could tell you outside in the real world, Janae is this bubbly, crazy, neurospicy woman. I've always been quite out there with how I look, how I speak, how I am. And I'm very proudly Caribbean. So I'm Black British Caribbean, roots are Jamaican. I'm very proud of that. And when I first started doing social media, I was just doing like the typical trend stuff, making fun, doing whatever. And it's really hard because trying to hide my dialect, bearing in mind this is how I sound like pretty much every day, and it's in my twang, like how I speak, was one of the things I was so nervous about. And then I remember a video, this was years ago, I think it was like 2022, 2021, 2022. And I remember seeing it was a scroll. And I just remember just embodying my Jamaican grandmother and just telling people to put it back. And this thing went viral. And I had no idea that this little piece of video would just go boom. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, she's Jamaican. And I'm like, oh shit, everyone knows. I was like, ah. And I freaked out because I was taught for so long to kind of hide that. So when I started to just be even more myself, which is both dialects, both me speaking English, but me also speaking Patois, I was like, oh, people like this. So I ran with it. And then it just grew and grew and grew. And I was like, oh, this is different. This is new. And I love it because it's brought Caribbean followers. It's brought Caribbean people from, the Bahamas, Barbados, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, all over, just especially the patois side of the Caribbean, and being able to be embraced as well. Because I may not be the strongest patois speaker, but I love speaking that language because it's my mother's tongue, if that's what I speak. So I love it, and it makes me feel so happy. So sharing that with the world, so to speak, and it being a part of what I do, it just made me happy. And I just couldn't believe it blew up like that because, you get told to shut up and you get told not to be so boisterous. And then boom, here you go. And it was like, no, keep going. I'm like, okay.
Good. I mean, and you are keeping going, and you do so in such a beautiful, unapologetic, unashamedly way with the intersections of who you are, your blackness, your Jamaicanness, your queerness, your curviness, your neurospiciness. You own it all, and people are absolutely loving it.
Thank you so much. I love the fact that I don't fit into one thing. I don't believe in conforming.
Yeah.
I believe in the fact that I can just be myself. I am not your regular schmegular woman, and I don't intend to be a regular schmegular woman. I have my fingers in every pie, and literally when people find out, like, I'm even you're a spicy, or I'm a lesbian, or I'm this, or I'm that, they're going, oh my God, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. Wow, I can relate. I want to be that relatable content creator, influencer, if you will, because I feel like a lot of the times in this day and age, people are so used to seeing things with money and the materialistic things, like the superficial side of things, that they forget the supernatural side of things. So I want people to relate to me like, oh my God, I'm just like her. Like, she's Black and alternative, or she's this and that and whatever. I want there to be a relation between me and my audience and me and my people, my familiars, because at the end of the day, if you can't relate to me, then what is this connection I'm supposed to have with you? As somebody who's providing content, I need to be relatable. And that's why one of my favorite hashtags, especially when I post things, is relatability, because I need people to feel as though they can relate to me and be happy in that, even if they're having a down day and it's like, I don't know, I'm talking about, I don't know, something that looks like, I don't know, a penis or a vagina or whatever, and not care. And I can make them giggle. They can relate to me because we're both goofy.
Yeah.
Or if I'm seeing something that's probably scary, you can relate to me like, yeah, I wouldn't touch that either. See, now we relate.
Yeah.
I want that to be my audience. I want that to be my content.
And your content spans across, it's really, really fucking entertaining, right? It is really entertaining. And that was why I first fell in love with it. But it's also incredibly authentic. It's vulnerable. You touch on embodiment, empowerment, spirituality. And so how did you land on CurvyBlackWitch to encompass all of this?
Well, my darling, I am exactly what my name says on the tin. I am curvy and proud. I'm a plus size model. So I am not like most models out there. I'm small as well. I'm only 5'3.5". I'm Didi, but listen, I'm little, but I'm Talaway, as a Jamaican say. Meaning I'm small, but I'm mighty. So I love the fact that I'm a curvy woman. I've worked hard to embrace my body. Yes, I suffer with body dysmorphia, but at the same time, I want women to realize that even though I do, and I know that you possibly do, we're still beautiful in our own rights. Black, because obviously black is brown. Something that I battled with for a long time, and that sounds crazy, especially from my childhood, being picked on, being bullied for the color of my skin. And then as I got older, realized that being a darker skinned woman is something that is beautiful. And dealing with things like colorism and texturism within my own community as a black woman, realizing that how beautiful it is to have my rich melanin. So I had to put that in there. And then a witch, because I'm a witch. People are like, what? No. Yes, I am. Proud because you may be able to burn my ancestors, but you ain't burning me. That's how we roll. So I put the three words together and it just encompasses me, but not just that. I wanted, especially with the embodiment and the empowerment for women, I want women to feel beautiful. And in a world where when I was growing up, I did not feel beautiful, all the love, care, and empowerment that I know that I can give to someone, even though I didn't give it, I never had it, sorry. I want to give that to women who may not feel like that every day. Like things where I grew up with like R&B and different things like that. And especially there was one song by TLC called I'm Pretty. And I remember there was a girl in there, she was curvy and she had all the pictures of what she wanted to look like if she lost weight. She put her head and skinny things. And it was the norm for a lot of black women who were curvier to feel like they weren't beautiful because all the women in the music videos were skinny. And then as the years went on, it was like curves, big booties, big boobs, and everything were the thing that came in. And it was like, oh, okay. And then now we're back in an era where, you know, Ozempic's come in and it's basically saying to a lot of women, okay, we can't be curvy again. We got to go back the other way, especially in the black community. I can't speak for everybody else, but I speak for black women in the black community. And a lot of women are now battling going, but we just started to embrace our curves. Why are we now losing curves when we just started to embrace it? And now I'm at that point where I say to women, listen, stop looking at the hype. Do what makes you feel happy. I'm 5'3.5". I'm little. I have a fupa, okay? I have some rolls. I got some rolls more than Greg's, okay? I don't care. But I want to make you feel good because this is what a natural body looks like. And I like to eat, so I'm going to eat because I'm not going to stop eating because I like food. So it's that simple.
And damn right as well. You know, we need a little bit of fat on us. We need to feel healthy. And you're also kind of like, you're documenting your fitness journey quite a lot lately, right? And you seem to be really enjoying it and stuff. But you're not doing so to be skinny. You're not doing it for those reasons. You're doing it to feel good.
Yes.
And
feel
to be
good,
strong.
Feel strong. Yes. I feel like a lot of people see when plus size women start exercising, they automatically assume, oh, it's because we're losing weight. For me, it wasn't losing weight. So I have a personal trainer. He's my good friend. That's James Stafford, coached by James Stafford. And I have a really good friend called Angie, and she's amazing. Love her to pieces. And between the both of them, like, she's one of my besties. He's my personal trainer. And I said, you know what? I want to get my body banging for the new year. So this started last year. And I was going through a really rough time in my relationship, my ex relationship, and I knew I was unhappy because of how I was feeling, and I wanted to do something about it. And I said, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get back into it. Bearing in mind, I've been going to the gym throughout my life up until that point, coming in and out, especially with the pandemic and all that jazz. But I said to James, like, I want to get back on it. I want to get stronger, healthier, better. He was like, all right, cool. We're going to body recon. Body recomposition is you keep what you got. You just kind of mold in the clay into a different shape. And I started to see the differences. And a lot of people are like, but you put weight loss stuff. You have to put these things in the hashtags so it can push and reach. That's the reason why I put weight loss and this and that. It's not weight loss. It's just the way to reach the audience so people can see what I'm doing. And for me, as a plus size woman, like I said, I'm not doing it to get skinny. I'm doing it to get fitter. For me, to enhance the curves I have and to add muscle behind it, to walk around with a bodacious bunda and to have these girls sitting upright up here like this. Okay, I want you to sit up, girl. And I'm 37. I'm a mom to an 11-year-old. I want it to be the fact that when I go out, I feel comfortable in my clothes. And I had an interesting conversation with a friend of mine, and we both plus size girlies. And it was the fact that we got to a point where we had to body recon so that clothes could fit a certain weight to a degree. We didn't change to fit the clothes. We changed so it would be easier to find certain things to do, especially like if we're going to awards or going to events and stuff. And it's not easy. She's 5'9", I'm 5'3". She's easier to dress. I'm not. But we said this, it's crazy how when it comes to plus size fashion and dressing and being fit and everything, the moment you hear a plus size woman trying to look fashionable or she's trying to be fit, it's like, oh, no, this is not what plus size is. Plus size is this. Plus size comes in all different shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
And for me, I just happen to have a snatch waist, a bit of foot, titties, and a fat ass and some thick thighs. I'm not changing. So I just wanted to enhance what I had. Like when you put makeup on, you enhance your beauty. You can change a little, but you're not doing too much. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm a year and a half in, I think now. And I love it. I love the fact that I can outlive most men. It's beautiful.
Damn right. And you always look fantastic, and you are challenging. You know, in what you do, you're challenging the fashion industry, right? You're calling it out as well. You know, as a model, as a curvy model, you are challenging them to do better as well. And you are honestly, there's the reason you are inspiring inclusion, and that's exactly why I'm so passionate about talking to you today. And the podcast, Les Vibe. It is hilarious. It is raunchy.
Thank you.
It's very, very no holds barred, and I absolutely love it. Are you enjoying it? Because you're quite a few seasons in.
Yes, I think we're in the 6th season now. So when I started about Les Vibe, I wanted to talk about good topics and controversial topics. And I've done it with a couple of co-hosts, like they've gone on to do different things. And it's hard, especially if you're in England and they're in America and stuff. But I wanted that kind of thing. We've talked about things about like trans rights. We've talked about like the extremism of where people they make it look like something that it's not. So like, because my cousin talked about it. It was like, I remember one of the topics was that they wanted to get rid of the song Feel Like a Natural Woman. And no one in the trans community even said this. And I said, this is the point where you have people trying to pit people against each other. And yes, and I always say in every community, doesn't matter if you're black, you're white, you're gay or you're straight, there's always going to be extremists in certain things. And it doesn't matter. They always spoil it for the others.
Yeah.
And I said this about, within our community as well, that there is sometimes hatred within hatred because we're a minority with a minority. And sometimes people do venture into that kind of hate. And it shouldn't be the case because you already know what it feels like to be hated. So why would you hate someone in that respect? And I spoke candidly about the fact, like, sometimes I want to be able to say certain things and you can't say certain things, but you should be able to say certain things without offending people because some people can be sensitive and whatever. There's all different things. And then the current season is my co-host Avery. She's amazing.
You're smashing it.
Lord, this is, I can't believe I'm saying this. So we started off as friends and she's from the Bahamas and I'm from all the way up here. We just went back and forth, flirting, co-host, and somehow we're now together.
That is, I mean, I listened to the latest episode, right? So I knew that anyway, and it's amazing, and it is just brilliant to listen in, right? As someone that considers myself a feminist and ally to loads of different communities, to listen to a space that is hosted by 2 queer black women.
Yes, I love what it stands for, and we talk sex, we talk serious topics about scenarios and stuff. But a lot of the time, what people think about when it comes to lesbians is, there's these stereotypes that we just do this and we just do that, and it's not. And especially as black lesbians, it's a lot harder. And then we're black Caribbean lesbians, which on top of that, we battled homophobic songs, homophobic tendencies within our own cultures and families. So we started to talk about like our experiences, and we're getting more into that as the seasons go on. And we have that connection in that respect because we understand it. And a lot of people as lesbians and our white counterparts, they may not understand that because you don't know what it's like being a minority within a sub-minority in that situation. And it's not easy. It's not the easiest thing when you've got the world against you in so many different ways. And on top of that, the title of Black woman, you get attacked from left, right, and center. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot more to defend and a lot more to speak about in that respect. And that's why I love Les Vibe. I created it specifically so Black women, be them trans, be them cis, so they can come onto the podcast and talk. And we even talked about our Black trans brothers. Like we've come on, I've had my brothers be like, hey, listen, let me say some shit. I got some shit to say. And we've had them on. Yeah. And we've had even a celebrity of ours, Dane Baptiste, comedian, love him to pieces. He came on a few seasons back and he's an ally. And he came on and he said his piece. And it's very interesting to see a straight Black man's perspective being an ally to queer Black women.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. That's why I love the podcast. So many different fun things.
I mean, it's representative. It's, you know, it's just bringing a different voice that's so often overlooked in queer entertainment, queer media, and Les Vibe. Les Vibe is just such a cracking title.
Thank you so much.
I could talk all day about the now, but I'm also so excited to dive into your origin story. Are you ready to pause and rewind?
Let's rewind.
Here we go. Take me back. Tell me all about little Janae.
Oh, little Janae, Jesus. Little Janae was full of life, full of beans, misunderstood, undiagnosed. Always told that she was over enthusiastic and always full of beans, but always had a big heart. Was mercilessly picked on for the color of her skin, as I said previously. I went to a very racist primary school. I will call that school out right now, which was Warren Farm Primary School in Birmingham. Yes, don't care. Will say hands on. I was the only Black girl in the entire school at that point. It was the 90s, what can I say? And it was in an area called King's Standing. That's where my nan lived. And I got picked on. I had my front teeth punched out. I got called nicknames, picked on by my mom. It got so bad that I eventually moved primary schools to another one, which was it was predominantly Black and South Asian in the kids. And that's when I found out more about, there's cultures, there's more things. Janae was very much the girl that played out. It was the 90s, the early 2000s. She was like, playing it. That was how it was. It was the good old days. I love to explore. I love to mix things up, like make my little herby stuff, like make like rose water or put mint and stuff in, like my little witchy stuff. But
from a young age, that was
from a very young age. Oh my goodness, yeah. Because with my grandma and my nan and my great grandma, they were herby women. So there was herbs always growing in the garden. Thyme, there was mint, you name it was there. And my granddad, he was the pumpkin man. And my great grandma, my granddad, and my nan, they are my heroes. They were the three amigos. Only one exists still on that side, on my mum's side, which is my nan, who's 87. My great grandma, she was everything. We did everything. I was Hello Dun Dun, that was her nickname for me. Don't ask me what it means. I don't know what it means. That was just my nickname. I loved it. And she was my ride or die. And then she passed away Christmas Day, 1999. And then my granddad, he was like the father figure. He was this strong Capricorn man. He didn't take no nonsense, but he would not say much. He was a man of few words, but he would make tea with toast with marmalade. That's how he knew how to soothe you. He was that way inclined. And he taught me a lot of stuff too, using a machete to chop down things. Listen, don't play with me. I know he's using a machete, man. Don't play with me. And then he passed in 2009 on Christmas Eve. And my nan, this woman, I owe everything to that woman. My grandmother, I am nicknamed Little Rima in my family because I'm just like her.
Beautiful.
And she helped me through a lot, through all my losses, through my burdens, through my bullying, through my neurospiciness, through heartaches. My nan has always been there. And especially as little me, the two of us, we had matching curly perms, okay? That woman was everything. And growing up until I'd say 11, 12, that my nan to this day and then was always my rock. So little Janae was very influenced by her Jamaican heritage because of her nan, great grandma and grandfather.
It sounds like such beautiful relationships. It's funny as you know, I know everyone has a grandparent. I had a nan who was you know, sadly passed when I started uni, but she was also such an influence on me and how I show up in the world. So yeah, I know, they need to be cherished. We're going through all of that stuff, the racism, the being picked on, you know, physical stuff as well, and also the being undiagnosed and misunderstood.
Oh yeah.
What did you think of? What was your sense of self at that point, what did you think about the world? Because those are some rough things to go through when you don't have the understanding and maturity to get your head around them.
It was crazy because growing up, like I said, I lived in a very racist area. I lived in King's Landing in Birmingham. It was racist here in the 90s. You had the NS, you had, I think they were called the BNP back then. They would literally give you leaflets like, join the, like, be a follower. And what? You don't even like my people. But being chased, like, because of the color of my skin, being spat at, being called the N-word, and, you know, just, it was crazy. But my sense of self then was, I lived in my own little bubble.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen this show, Sex and the City. I was very much like Charlotte. Everything was like rainbows and kittens, and everything was like, oh my God, it's peaceful and whatever, because I knew there was war and conflict and, like, you know, grenades going off with hatred and stuff. But I wanted to keep my little Charlotte-isms in that moment and just keep happy. And that's one of the reasons why people say, you know what, Janae, you can be quite naive. I know, but I like my bubble because I'm an optimist. I don't want to be a pessimist. And navigating through that world, family was a big thing, especially growing up. You could, oh God, I can still see it now, either going to London, going to America, or, you know, people coming up to see us in Birmingham. Like, we'd have big parties, rums flowing, reggae's playing, barbecues going off, kids skidding outside, bouncing castles. Like, family was a big thing. And even when the wars and stuff were going on, having family come all over from the world to come over and come to my nan's house, that was like the hub. And, you know, eating like gizzardo and grater cake, and eating like this smoked fish in a thing, and eating mangoes and chilling and, you know, learning things and doing things. Family at that point for me was the one thing that kept me safe, but certain family elements kept me unsafe. And I had to navigate through that so that I could find my safe bubble. And that was, after my great grandma passed, it was my granddad, my nan, a couple of cousins, and like one or two aunties. There were certain people, that was my bubble.
Yeah.
And as long as I stayed in my bubble, I felt safe.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to ask about school, but as we're on the topic of family, if you are you right to venture into queerness and where queerness comes into it in terms of that family safety and perhaps acceptance?
Oh, well, so I'm a lesbian. So
No.
don't know if you knew, but I'm black and gay. So growing up, I had my little moments. I was like, okay, because everyone would be like, oh, well, you know, it's just because you think she's pretty. I'm like, okay, but I'm staring at her boobs, bro. Like, I'm just boobs, some boobs and some bum, you know. But as the years went on, it was the installation. So especially in the Caribbean culture, religion is very much used. Caribbean kids who are indeed part of the LGBT, you're going to hell. You do this, an abomination. It's sodomites. You know, two men can't be together, two girls can't be together. It's wrong. It's an abomination. God never met Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. And that was the kind of stuff I grew up. Then you've got like Elephant Man and whatever. Now, granted, we reclaimed as Caribbeans certain songs that are homophobic. We reclaimed. It's like, you know, with gay men reclaiming like the S or whatever. But within the Caribbean culture, like, you know, you're talking about us here, but guess what? We're still gonna dance there. It's like a weird reclaim.
Listen, I love it. I love dancing to a bit of Beanie Man, and I know it's problematic.
Listen, we know what it's saying. We don't care. Okay, I'm here to tell you, we don't care. We don't care. But growing up, it was like shite. So then for me, I went to a girls' school, and I actually told my other half about this, and I was saying to her that there's this one girl, her name was Rashid. It was a Muslim girl. And I remember, like, back then I didn't think it was, but when I look back, I'm like, oh my God. So she was the one that stood up for me when I was getting bullied. She was the one that was really nice. And I realized I had a crush on her. Like, I remember, and eventually she got turfed out. To this day, I still don't know why, but I feel like it's because she herself was queer too. And because her dad was really strict, turfed her all the way out of the school. But we would hold hands, like I would hug her. She was really sweet. She was more masculine presenting. And she wore a hijab. And I remember we were supposed to do this play together, and she was supposed to play my spouse in this play. And I was so excited. I was like, oh, I love Rashida. Oh my God, oh my God. And then the day that we were supposed to perform, Rashida didn't show up. Rashida had been turfed out of school. I cried for weeks. And my friend was, I think her name was, that was it, Natasha. She basically was like, yeah, she's gone. I wasn't allowed to have Rashida's number. No one was allowed to, nothing, wasn't allowed. Then you go on to college. And I was like, okay, boys, because I went to a girls' school, boys, 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 boys. And then it was like, And again, it was like I would dibble and dabble and talk to people and be flirty. Like there was this girl that I flirted with and another girl that I flirted with, and there was a little bit of ruckus that I flirted with and whatever. And then it was just like, okay, step back, and you can't do that because in my head it's like religion, culture, you're not allowed to see this. And then uni came, and then uni came. And then went out on nights out and with friends, and I would sneak off. And back then, I would get so drunk. I'm telling you now, it was bad. But at this time, it was like I went for a lot of masculine presenting women. But back then, when you're drunk, especially how people dressed, you couldn't tell until they'd be like, girl, you know that was a girl. Girl, I don't care. And it was like, it's okay. She's still straight. She was drunk. It don't count. And I'm like, okay, I'm still straight. It don't count. And in my head, I'm going, see, something about this feels gay. It just feels gay. And then I would only watch lesbian porn. And I'd be like, I'm experimenting and stuff. And then I was really scared to say anything. But my nan was the person I would try and do feelers out. So I would make it sound like a boy, but it was actually, I'm like, Nana, I saw this person and they're really cute and whatever. And I was like, all right, so how they treating you? And I'm like, they're nice. Trying to feel out. And then I wasn't very open because you had to be close. And then I saw the treatment of my friend that lived like her grandparents lived next door, and I saw the treatment that she suffered. And I knew she was, and I know she knew that I was. But when I saw how she got treated, especially, I was like, oh no, I'm not saying nothing because and she's masculine presenting. I was like, there's no way. If that's what she's going through, there's no way I'm going through that. And as I got older and older, and I remember in 2020, because I was one of those people that was like, I don't need to say what I am.
Yeah.
I don't need a label. I was just very much like, I like what I like. And then in 2020, I remember talking about, demisexuality and the fact that I love the person. Yes, I can look at the shell, but I'm more about the pearl in the shell. And you could be good looking, I don't give a damn, but I need to know about that pearl.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this, and people were like, that's part of the LGBT. I was like, no, it's not. I'm an ally, but whatever. They were like, no, Janae. And I was talking, just like I'm talking to you candidly about, they were like, nay, that's some gay shit, babe. I'm like, no, it's not. I was drunk, it don't count. They were like, nay, some gay shit, babe. And then I went into different things, and I kind of came out on live in 2020, even more so.
Oh, wow.
And this is me later in life, on TikTok. And everyone was like, babe, we already knew you were gay. I was on live. I rang my nan and I just went, okay, I'm in my 30s. I can say what I want. Nan. And my nan, swear to God, went, I already knew.
How did that make you feel? How did it make you feel?
I was like, what you mean? She's like, we knew. You could tell. You was different. I was like, huh? So, and she said, like, I did a podcast episode with her, like a limited one on Les Vibe. And then I took it down because my nan was like, we'll do it as a limited one for her. And she even said, back then, she knew about things, but for her, it was different because I was little Jen. I was little Rima. Like, I was supposed to be the one that did this.
Yeah.
And when she found out, she was like, I would have been different with you when you was younger and you told me. I'm glad you told me when you was older. And I have to respect that because, like I said, culture is different. And people are like, you can't say it's culture. If you don't live it, you do not understand it. It's that simple. And the fact that my nan and I are close, she says hello to my other half. She's very, like, and I said to her, like, how does it feel knowing that, I'm going to marry a woman and do all this and blah, blah, blah. She's like, I don't care. I just want to be there. Is there going to be food? Yeah. Cool. All right. That's my nan.
Yeah.
So.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I guess the rest of the family, did they fall in line once your nan was
my mom don't care. She very much was like, she kind of had her inklings too. My mom just thought I was going to be bi. Nah, player. Cute. You seen cute. But my mom we have a very interesting relationship, me and my mom. It's not the closest. I'm close to my nan and now my mom.
Yeah.
And my nan's blessing counts more than my mom. That sounds crazy, but that's just the way it is. Culturally and different things that have happened in life, that's the reason why. My dad, he didn't even care. I think everyone knew. No, flash that. They did know. They just wanted me to confirm it and verify, like a 2-step authentication. Yeah. And then my little sister, she was like, yeah, it's kind of obvious. My cousins, like, my cousin, he's like, what, 26 this year? And I remember when I first told him, and he was like, I was like, oh, how's dating for you? And he was like, yo, it's hard out here dating girls, you know, cause like, it's hard. I was like, yeah, I know what you mean. He was like, wait, what? He's like, what you mean you dating girls? And I was like, what's wrong with that? He was like, nothing but you. He was like, now you say it like that. Yeah, you. And the dynamic. So I am the gay cousin. I am the gay daughter. But it's really funny seeing people going, really? I'm like, yeah, gay looks like this. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you know,
you're showing, so, you're out there showing people, your family, people that look like you, people that sound like you, that gay is you. Like, you know, you, yes. yeah. Yes. I want to just chat about, what did you think that was the goal career-wise? Because you've carved this really niche kind of like career as a model, content creator, influencer, if you like, host, many different things. What was the goal?
The goal for me was, this is going to sound so crazy. So I went to uni. I dropped out in the third year. Yeah, I don't care. Reasons being, my granddad died in 2000. Like I said, I was at uni. Same as you. I was in uni. My grandparent passed. I couldn't focus, couldn't concentrate. My tutors pissed me off. And I was like, I can't stay here anymore. I'm done. I actually spoke to the dean, the principal, whatever you want to call them. And I said, I'm leaving. And I explained why. There was the reasons there. And they were like, I understand. Was so sorry to see you go, whatever. I'm actually part of an exhibition that's still in Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery before I left. And I loved that. It was so much fun. And I wanted to do like the dramatic. So drama, performing arts, that was my thing. My thing was to be a drama teacher / facilitator, to go around, do workshops, you know, let people explore things and be creative. And then that didn't work out. Ended up doing retail, did all of that. Went to the Prince's Trust, learned about business. Ended up meeting like my ex. Went on to have kids. I have my beautiful 11-year-old now. And I was like, I don't know what my career is going to be now, because I wanted to do something within the arts. Fashion, I've loved fashion. I'm very unique with fashion, so I wanted to do something with that. And I'm very different. I'm very creative. I like making devised pieces. Devising was my thing that I did at school, college, uni, and I won big awards for it. I won Best Director of College for that. So I was like, devising stuff, I need to put this in. Then content landed, and I was like, how can I put this, and this in this to make this? And I did. And literally all the things that I studied, all the things I wanted to do have now kind of merged into what I do in content creation. And can I be classed as an influencer? I don't know. Influencing in that respect. And I'm really glad. My main thing is I want to walk either in London, Paris, or New York Fashion Week. That's the goal. I want to go on a big red carpet. That's another goal. And the biggest goal for me is to be able to go around the country and be an empowerment speaker, because I want to go into schools, colleges, and universities so I can get young women that are eventually going to have to go out into the big wide world. And, you know, from teenagers, like especially like kids that are my daughter's age, I want to get them that young, right up until when they go to uni. And so when they go into the big world, they realize what it is. Because back when I was growing up, being a woman and being in this world, you know, we weren't taught certain things, to look out for things and watch out for people and do whatever. It was, you just kind of had instincts, but it wasn't like empowered into you. So you knew your worth, because back then it was like, you're doing this for the male gaze, you're doing this for this. You know, you need to look well and dress well for a man. You need to make sure that you're doing this for a man. You need to make, everything was for a man. It was for a man, for a man, for a man, for a man, for a man. And again, culturally speaking, in the Caribbean, if you don't do something for a man, you're never going to be a wife. You're never going to find no one. And that was ingrained. I don't want women. And it's so beautiful to see that women are like, I don't need a man. That's right. You don't need a man. Don't need a man. You don't need a woman. You don't need that person. It's to be about You want them, but you don't need them.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to need somebody to make you feel better, to make you feel beautiful, to make you feel whatever. You should feel this way regardless. And that is what I want to go around pouring. So that's the dream. That's the dream.
I mean, I can feel it and I can see it. Like, and yeah, and you know what? Having known you for a short while, I've no doubt that you're gonna do those things. My final question for this segment is this: looking back so far, what are you most proud of to date?
Oh, Jesus! Let me, Lord. So many. I'm just gonna have compartments. I will say, I think the biggest one was actually the Diva Awards, because knowing that I got nominated and then I got invited to come to the award show and then getting highly commended meant that what I'm doing as a Black queer woman is people are seeing me and I'm up there. Because I was in the category with some big names, Melanie, like some big names. And like I was against GK Barry. I was like, oh shit. And it's really funny. So I went on a show before and she was on there and I pitched my empowerment thing, and because of my witchiness, she turned it down, but she said she loved what I stood for and whatever. And it was really funny that I was in the same category as someone who told me no. And that to me, the fact that I came runner up and seeing my name up there, I was like, oh my God. Oh shit. That means I just got to strive harder to get the main award. But that to me made me emotional because I was like, 5 years. I've pushed for 5 years to keep going and going. And I'm not doing it the sellout way. I'm not selling my soul for no one. I'm not at the crossroads selling my soul. Yeah. I'm out here doing it, the work. I'm doing the good work of the ancestors, taking my time slow and steady in the years. And seeing that and seeing it like that. And then being in the same vicinity as Lady Phil and her going, I really, really love the fact that you're here today and you were up there, you came running up. I'm looking at her going, are you talking to me? You're talking to me? And then she was like, yeah. And then I've got a picture. And then she gave me a hug. Man, she's hugging. I felt like Lilo and Stitch going, she's hugging me. She's hugging me. She's hugging me. And that for me was, oh my God, I'm in a space where as a Black queer woman, I'm being accepted. Because sometimes in the LGBT, especially in certain spaces, you do not feel accepted. But in this moment, I felt accepted.
The House of Happiness is London's ultimate sober clubbing extravaganza. We're led and delivered but created for all, whether teetotal, sober curious, or just taking a booze snooze. We love a day rave, and on a Saturday afternoon you can expect banging house tunes, DJs on decks, dancers on podiums, and a fully stocked alcohol-free bar. Flamboyant, bold, with a glitter station to boot. We're all about safe, inclusive fun, and we even have a pre-meet so that you can make new sober buddies before you hit the dance floor. Grab your tickets from Instagram now at House of Happiness Official, and we'll see you on the dance floor.
Are you ready for some quickfire questions?
Yes!
What album, book, or movie has had a lasting impact on you?
Ooh. Movie, The Help. And I'll explain. Because of what the dynamics is, culturally, the fact that there's racism in it, but you realize that there's allies in it. And my favorite quote is you is smart, you is kind, you is important. And I still say that shit.
Gorgeous movie. Yes. Such an important movie. What's a saying you live by and one that you'd put in the bin?
Ooh, a saying I live by. Don't start nothing. Because please don't start with me. I am a big defender. If I see you do wrong unto someone, then don't start it. I won't be it. Okay. One to put in the bin, I would be like, children should be seen and not heard.
Oh yes.
Gotta go in the bin. I hated that as a kid. It pissed me off because then what do you mean? Because some children can teach people how to be better about themselves.
And also, I guess, in terms of your own experience as well, of feeling misunderstood, you know, being undiagnosed, feeling misunderstood. And that mentality is what causes that feeling for young people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Straight in the fucking bin. Best adventure of your life so far?
Oh. Best adventure. I will have to say it was when I went to America in 2023 and I saw my good sis Luna and my good cousin Fliz, and they came at the end part of the week, and I remember we went to like IHOP, we was drinking, and I'm looking at the picture now on my wall, and it was such a good trip because of them.
Yeah.
Not because of who I intentionally went to go see, but because of them, because they brought out stuff and it felt like home. And bearing in mind, Flizzy's my actual cousin. We found each other on TikTok, and it was because we matched. We were talking as friends. We matched pictures. I was like, damn, that's my aunt. She's like, no, that's my... I'm like, wait, hold on. What? And that's how we found out we were cousins. And Luna, she's like my big sis. And that trip was everything. It just made me realize the fact that family is not determined by genes. It is maintained through love.
For sure. And as queer people,
yes, and they're both gay.
For sure.
Black and gay too, honey. You scored.
What 3 words would you use to describe you and your origin story?
Ooh. Unique. Alternative. Trailblazer.
Unique, alternative, trailblazer.
Yes, and I'd say trailblazer because I blazed that trail to get to where I'm Listen,
Set it on fire.
Was hard for me.
Yeah. I guess also 3 words that have just come to mind is CurvyBlackWitch.
Yeah, listen, I was thinking that, but I was like, I don't want to be so corny.
We'll include it. I'm going to include it anyway.
Include it.
Let's fast forward a little bit. What exciting things do you have coming up?
Ooh, so I am doing the NBCC Awards again, the one that Judy Love and Alison Hammond was at last year. I am doing the social media interviewer again. Fingers crossed, I may be going to an event in November. I can't say what it is yet. I'm doing a fashion show on Saturday. It is an African fashion show. I worked with this designer in the fashion show I just done, and he asked me to come and walk for him again. Let me think. I actually have 2 other events I'm going to. They're Scarefest. They asked me to come so I can make content. Lord Jesus Christ, my voice gonna scream because it's for the scare content, obviously for the put it back stuff. And I have to go and do a couple more other events that I can't talk about yet, but they all involve fashion and being plus size and curvy. So
where you want to be and where you belong.
Thank you.
What brings you joy?
Oh, I'm going to sound so corny.
Do it.
My baby, my daughter. She drives me up the wall, but I love her so much.
How much of you do you see in your daughter?
So much. She's literally the lighter skin version of myself. Like, she's literally my twin, just with light skin and freckles. She's mixed. So she's freckled as hell. And she's got my gusto. She's my feisty little Aries. And I thank the ancestors for her every day because she was my rainbow baby. So if you don't know what a rainbow baby is, I had a son before her and he passed away. And I didn't think I'd ever be able to have children again. And then I was blessed with my daughter. Bearing in mind, they told me when I was pregnant with her that it was a boy. And then I gave birth and I was like, oh, that's not a boy, that's a girl. So I was like, oh, that's different. And she is my absolute world, my joy, my pride, my everything. And she's helped me through grief. She's always there when I need that little dose of love. She tells me I love you all the time. The stuff that I wish that I could have done with my mom, my daughter does with me. And me as a parent made sure I was not like my mother. And she shows me every day what true love is. And that, as her mother, makes me smile. I told you it was corny, but I love it. I don't care.
It's not corny. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful to hear. My final question for you. This time together has gone so quickly.
I know.
Do you have any words of encouragement or wisdom out there for anyone to help them get to wherever they're going?
Be yourself.
Yeah.
Be yourself. It may be a long ride. It may not be easy, but be yourself. Please do not sell your soul. Always be supernatural, not superficial. Always know that in this world, you come in alone, you're going to come out alone. Do not think you have to take everything with you as in possessions. Everything is not going to work. And the last piece to that would be is look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, are you proud of who you are? And when you know that you may not automatically be right there, but you're outstanding but improving, and you know that you're striving, that's when you know you're the baddest bitch out there. That's what I do.
Keep doing it. Thank you so much for saying yes. Thank you for entertaining my fangirl moment at the Diva Awards, because I'm so glad that we got to have this conversation off the back of seeing you celebrated, and thanks for how you show up in the world. Just keep doing it. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me and being on this amazing podcast. Honestly, you're an amazing person, and your questions were beautiful. Everybody carry on listening to him. He's amazing. I love him so much.
Thank you so much, Janae. And I am going to see you soon in Birmingham. I'm going to come up and visit.
Yeah.
Take care, hon. Cheers.
Take care. Bye.
I hope that I really hope you loved that as much as I did. And I got to know Janae so much through that interview. And her early experiences of growing up in the 90s, the time where bullying was rife, and I know it still is. And sadly, Janae recognizes that, we are experiencing a moment of regression. But, growing up in the 90s, surrounded by racism and bullying, and how that has shaped how she shows up now as her unapologetic, bold self, and being the person that she wanted to be seen. Representation came up a lot in that conversation. And, hearing about her hopes and dreams, and I have no doubt that we're going to see her on red carpets, keeping on smashing it, and again, just owning all the intersections of who she is, and being and the importance of relatability, and the audience kind of seeing themselves in what she's putting out there, and just those closing words: always be supernatural, not superficial, and how it might be a bumpy ride, but you'll get there. So Janae, thank you so much for being a guest on Pause and Rewind. Absolutely love spending this time with you. Can't wait to see you soon. Thank you so much for listening. Please do like, subscribe, share, comment, help us beat these pesky algorithms, and stay tuned for more amazing guests on Pause and Rewind. Cheers.